a Cloud Run API endpoint now. It's running on a mono repo here, using Turbo Repo with Next.js, and then Fastify is the backend. And then we have an API that is now live, and I just need to wire up the domains on Cloudflare. So we've got a Cloud Run instance, and probably should map those to a DNS. So that is what we're going to currently do. I just got to go do that here in the Manage Custom Domains section. This one here. And then we need to verify our domain. So we'll set up search on top of that. Cloudflare DNS verification, nice. Might as well submit the sitemap whilst we're here. Missing XML tag. Sitemap.xml. Can read at 0 errors. Yeah, looks like I got an issue with the site now. Okay, cool. Let's go back to actually setting up that custom domain. API, nice, update DNS records, yeah, sitemap.ts, cool, just need to add a CNAME record. Alright people, we are vibing. Let's go. DNS. Cool. We don't want to proxy that traffic. Set the TTL to 1 minute so that updates pretty quickly. I guess as well we should probably just do the CNAME here for the staging.api. Cool. That is now done. Let's have a look. Manage waiting for certificate provisioning. Cool. I'll just put a note here. Double check the prod custom DNS mapping to the Cloud Run. And then also let's just create a task for add staging.api for when staging GCP environment is live, and we are going to be adding staging so that we can easily have a separate API service. Cool, and I'm going to tag that as a bug because we probably want that. This is for the Cloud Run service. Nice. Next thing is to update the webhook in Apify. We've got an Apify webhook for scraping TikTok. Go change this. Okay. Right. Let us go here. So funny, we're getting Claude to fix some stuff at the same time. Let's have a look in the webhook, which is an API CRUD. And we'll just do a little look on case statements. So we have action run created. What else have we got here? Action run created is one. We also have action run succeeded. Action run. Let's see, where is it? This is all the cloud task logic. Got a failed? I think we have a failed somewhere. Yeah, action run failed and action run timeout. Cool. Okie dokes. So that's all of the ones I need, and then we can, for now, just use the Cloud Run URL, which is fine. And that will be on, just have a look on local. This one here, /API/v1/Apify webhook. Apify. retrying. Cool. So that is the prod integration, the HTTP request, and we've also got one for testing. I might rename this actually to production webhook testing. And whilst we're at it, might as well just set up the staging one. It's not that too much work. Run failed, run timed out. That's basically it. Just runs. Don't think we need to retry in staging. And we can just turn that off for now. There's absolutely no reason. Production webhook, staging webhook. Webhook for local development. Local development testing. Okie dokes. Looks decent to me. Let's see if we got domain mapping done. Okay, still mapping. Cool. Looks fine though. Octospot.ai, right domain. Okay, so it's just fixing this sitemap file then, fine. Right, done that one. Double check the cron job. Is it being successful? So we set up a cron job yesterday. It's probably failing at the moment, and that cron job is basically, oh yeah, sure, I will lower the volume of the music. Thank you very much for catching that, appreciate it. Hopefully that's a lot better. Put that as 43, and I'll also just gonna blur the screen quickly and do my blurred screen. Cool, thanks for that, appreciate it. Thanks, Shabazz. Cool, so we have a cloud scheduler job that's currently failing, which is what I thought. So if we just, for now, just set a random time zone just to get to just need to have a look at this. Okay, so the reason why this is failing is because it should have a v1 in the prefix. So let's just go into Terraform, which is in a different repo, and then we'll add a variable, and we'll call this variable API version, and it's just a default value of that, and then essentially we just put that in there. I'll just get Cursor to quickly write a git commit message for this. Too lazy these days. Head over to Terraform. Okie dokes, so we're just updating a cron job at the moment. And okay. And then we kind of need to Okay, so this bit here is to do with the fact that we're going to make a block-based system, like for the long term. So we're versioning block IDs and parent block IDs, and not necessarily using it, but keeping it for when we want to use it. But we're just going to update this cron job quickly first. And let's see, has that now fixed? If we go back in here, next sitemap, we've got a specific sitemap. It's just rewriting the file. Pretty nice. Let's try that. All right, cool. So that's updating this cron job. So then we'll have a API/v1 here, which gets populated from Terraform. It's probably also worthwhile just checking, are there any other /API v1? Yeah, nice. It's just one. Cool. So that'll update that scheduler job. So we'll just wait for that to finish. We've also updated a bunch of some Stripe secrets. What I'm interested to see is, yeah, so the scheduler job's updated. So if we look at the scheduler job now, we will see, and I'll just put a time zone here, just get past this. Yeah. So let's go and make a note of that and do a force run. Now obviously this is going to depend on whether we've got stuff online in the remote database yet. So we should just go and have a look at this, because we might need to set up the remote database of this. Wow, it's Supabase having an outage today. It's a no bueno day today. Yes, I think that's next on the list is start these changes. We need to do this. We need to bring Supabase remote database up to date. So we'll just do that with cursor now. So that'll be this, go over here. And I think this will be the one. So let's load, cancel that GitOps repo. Supabase remote DB up to date. And I'm just got to blur my screen quickly, guys, because I've got to go and just connect to my remote database. So I'm just going to blur my screen for a quick minute or so whilst I type in some credentials. And that wouldn't be great if I was leaking those credentials. So there we go. So what I'm doing at the moment is I'm just basically connecting Supabase, the local database, with my local project so that we can push up the changes. And that's important because that cron job is running directly on that. Can you link my current project? So we need to get that cron job working, but to be able to know whether or not the schema is up to date and everything, we obviously need to bring the remote database up to the same level of schema that I have on my local system. So we're just going to be running a bunch of commands to do that. So I think the commands are Supabase link. Oh, it's already linked. In that case, then let's close down all of the nasty stuff and unknown project flag. Yeah, so there are some migrations that need to be done. Cool, I think that is it. We've got one issue here. Is team member is not available in ad scraping runs. We'll say, can you reset the entire DB for remote? We are still early. Let's have a look here. Yeah, just do a force push on that and bring that up to date, which is fine. Cool, cool, cool. So this cron service will now start to run every 15 minutes. Yeah, just do a quick Supabase, reset the remote. That will then run all these migrations. Okay, cool. So that remote database is now up to date. Now, definitely need RLS on job definitions and jobs tables. So let's add that in. Let's just stop this. Where are we creating those tables? Create jobs. Public.jobs probably. Those already have it, but we need public dot. We've got credit ones, and it's the jobs is up here, and job definitions. Nice. Just do this one. So that means jobs and job definitions. Can't find project ref. Ah, yeah. Cool, so we're just resetting the remote database again. Yeah. Adding on RLS for those. Supabase remote is up to date. Nice. Next thing to do is let's check is the cron job now working? So let's go in here and let's have a look at the sitemap.xml. That looks valid, so we'll resubmit that. Get rid of this one here. Nice. And have we got any errors this time? Invalid URL. It's not a valid URL. Have a look. That doesn't look valid to me, so we've still got a problem there. That is the joys of vibe coding, isn't it, guys? So we'll keep that one there. How about down main mapping? Still ongoing? Cool. No problem. Cron job we can test now though. Just want to make sure that this thing runs scheduler. Just do a force run. URL error not found. That happened 4 minutes ago. Now we have a scheduler job that gets created. Attempt started. 404. Ah yes, it's because these URLs are not exposed on the app yet. And the reason why they're not exposed is because if I go here and show you what we got here. If I go to Cloud Run, we need to expose these extra URLs now. Yeah, it's only going to /health. So let's do that quickly. We can do that ourselves whilst Cursor's working on this sitemap issue, which is basically in here in the app. We've said this whole section is registering. We just need to get rid of this. Cool, that will give us everything we need. Should we say, yeah, check the generated files. check the actual sitemap content. Let's just check that. What we got here? Icon, Twitter, Open Graph Images. So this doesn't have any of the routing, and it has static assets. I don't think that's right at all. Database migrations failed. Okay. So let's keep at it. After the break, yeah, okay. Cool. So yeah, we're just trying to get the sitemap fixed, and also I want to get the double check the cron job. And for now as well, I'm going to read through all the SQL migrations and the debiting code that Cursor made yesterday, because that was quite a lot of changes. So I kind of want to consume that. I think that's the one thing I've learned when you're vibe coding is if it generates a load of content for you, you must read that stuff at some point. Otherwise, you're going to completely lose context of what's happening in your code base. So we got it to make a credit reservations table, so that different jobs can reserve credits. So in the local stack, the data structure looks a little bit like this now, where you have a credit ledger, which is an append-only row. You also have the organizations, which have some credit balance and whether they're auto recharging and some thresholds for that, and whether they're subscribed. But the thing that it added that's quite interesting is this idea of reserved credits. And that's important because if you don't use reserve credits, then if you have long running jobs going, you could spin up loads of those jobs and they could drain you and make you go below a negative value. So we have a couple of helper functions like reserve credits, which is the amount to reserve, declaring a value. If the amount to reserve is what we got, greater than 0, less than 0, then amount to reserve must be positive. We do a row lock update, and then if it's null, we raise an error, and if there isn't available credits, then we return false. And then we update that, and we update both the credit balance to reserve that, and also the reserved credits, which is the reserved credits plus the amount to reserve. We also have a function for releasing releasing credits. So if it's again less than 0, it's bad. We've got a row update here, and if it's null, then we throw an error. If the amount reserved is less than the amount to release, then we update the amount to release to be equal to the reserved. If the amount to release is 0, then we have nothing to release. Otherwise, we update the organizations and we set the credit balance is equal to that plus the amount to release, and we also update the reserve credits and minus that from reserve credits. And then you've got a commit for this. So this is a function that clears reserve credits after job completion. This function assumes the actual debit has happened via the job completion trigger. It just clears the reservation. So in here, this is basically doing the same logic, but it's clearing it after the amount that was reserved for the job. We lock the row, we get the amount, and then we just update. And then the other stuff we had was this. Let's have a look here. So we also got some stuff around handle job credit reservation, which basically is saying if the job status has failed, and the job is the old job status is not failed or completed, then if the reserve credit is greater than 0, you update the organizations and you set the credit balance equal to the credits plus the reserved amount, and the reserve credits, you're basically saying take the greatest of either of these two. Take the greatest. So what does the greatest function do? I don't even know. Postgres function. Okay, so it just takes the greatest of either 0 or reserve credits minus reserved amount. Now, when the job completes, this is quite interesting, this bit, where when the status is new, okay, so it's created 2 stat map files. Nice. Okay, great. So let's commit those files. Git add. Oh, God, I can't even spell today, guys. Okay, so we'll just add those. We're getting rid of the next sitemap, I think. It's just a small refactor. So when job completes successfully, clear the reservation. Actual deduction already handled by the handle job completion. So this is a handle job credit reservation function. After update of status of jobs, where status is not equal to old status, we basically release the credits. Hey Nicole, hope you're doing well today. And we also have a safety net function to clean up stuck reservations, which will look that jobs are pending too long. I think we should put this to 6 hours. Mark these jobs as failed and let the trigger handle credit release. If plain count is this, then that's that. So one question I have as well is, like, if we have a function that handles for credit release, and we have a function that and we've also got in our custom data pipeline, we're also doing credit release manually. So I don't know whether we need to be doing both of those. So that's something we've just got to go and have a look at. So in a data pipeline in Apify, in the Fastify routes, I just need to ask Opus this. So in this Apify CRUD, we've got a handle credit reservation function, and we've also got this, hold on. Where is it? Jobs. Which happens here, reserve credits. Where's the jobs table? Let me just try this. Yeah, create table. Yeah, so we've got this table here, which we want to pull in. And then also there's the credit reservation one. I just want to say, if we are doing credit, if we're doing credit release when a job finishes, are we doing credit charging when a job starts or not? Are we doing this manually? Does Apify CRUD need to change at all? Because that's what I'm interested to see. So the credit here, when a job starts, credits are reserved using the reserve credits RPC. So we tell it how much to reserve. The organization's credit balance is reduced. When a job completes successfully, the handle job completion trigger deducts the credits used. This one here clears the reservation. when a job fails, the handle job trigger releases the reserve credit. So credits are reserved, not fully charged when the job starts. The actual charging happens when the job completes successfully. So we're doing this manually. And the reason why this is quite powerful is because if you have a large job that takes an hour, you wouldn't want someone to be able to spam that job if they had $30 worth of credits, and then they end up actually spending way more credits than you originally planned. But for smaller jobs, like an LLM streaming application, so if you've got a single API request, then it's not going to matter as much if the job is just manually deducted from that. So like for smaller LLM API streams, credit reservation is not really that important, right? Because the risk of slippage is low. But for longer running jobs, we are basically manually reserving credits with a custom RPC, I think is the rough gist of what's happening here. Excuse me. So that's basically what you can do, is have a couple of different, we've got like a key distinction. So if we're just doing LLM based API calls, we just have the handle job completion, which will basically be running. But for longer running jobs, we have that manual reservation of credits. So it's like, jobs that complete quickly just trigger a deduction of actual usage, but long running jobs which you do a reserve RPC and then run the job, and then regardless of what happens with success or failure, we basically do that. So that's basically, it's like a credit hold pattern. And that's important for it, because otherwise they could hit that endpoint lots of times and it won't actually deduct it right then and there. So that's one thing you just got to be aware of, peeps. Got to be aware of. Cool. So I've read through most of those SQL migrations, I think. There's also one that allows us to clean up orphaned Apify resources. I don't know if we potentially need this, but I think we'll keep it anyway. Right, billing logic I need to check, because it also changed the client-side application in Next, and it made an API endpoint here. So it made a couple. It mainly changed the webhook. So I want to read the webhook code and make sure that I understand that. Okay, let's have a look. So if there's a handle checkout completed, so what have we got here? We've got a bunch of different functions. Okay, so this gets us the subscription statuses and maps it. We've got, so we construct the payload, right, then we enter a switch event.type. We handle a checkout completed, which is, we get the, so we need to make sure that there's an organization ID in the checkout session. Just want to make sure there's let's put a couple of notes here. So need org ID in the metadata. What else have we got that we need to get? So this is updating a subscription, which just updates the subscription status, the customer ID, and their period end, which is fine. We also have a subscription. So this handle is created as well. Is that an insert pattern then? Update. Oh, okay. So we get that value and just update it. That's fine, I guess. And we've also got, let's go back here. Deleted, handle subscription deleted. What does that do? That finds one with a Stripe customer ID and it will set their subscription to inactive. Yeah, that's fine. And invoice payment succeeded. We are, oh, okay, so if there's a metadata of auto recharge, so there's some custom logic happening here. We need to map metadata and recharge credits to decimillicents, 10 to the minus 5 cents. We add organization credits, which is a custom RPC. We add the amount into their, that I guess goes into their credit ledger. Yeah. Yeah, cool. Perfect. And then what else have we got? So that one is kind of handling for recharge. We also have a payment, so that's this one, invoice payment, and then we've got the payment failed. Do we have something for when they originally sign up as a customer? Checkout completed, do we save the Stripe customer ID? Yeah, we do, which does it here. Yeah, so we need to definitely, the one thing that I'm thinking of is here, we need to map credits from Stripe's system into decimillicents, because I don't think Stripe is going to do that. And we also need to check if there is organization ID in the metadata, and number 3, if the metadata type is auto recharge, we need to do some custom logic here. So it's generated all this code, but there's definitely some errors with the credits, decimillicents, and also checking if there's an org ID there. So that's fine. I'm going to say, can you add this documentation to the README? I love doing this, guys. So just get Cursor to generate docs for you and save those docs over time. And that's really, really useful, because then you can basically just, you can easily understand the code. Cool. Right, next thing is, let's just get Stripe set up. So we'll go Stripe. And I think we even had a previous chat on this. Implementing credit management, subscription management. Cool. So we'll get all those fixed, and so we'll say RAID through Stripe billing logic is now done. Fix Stripe billing logic. Write PG tap test for credit deduction, credit reservation, plus job handling, plus job estimations. Ah, yes. Opus is in high demand, people. So this is TypeScript, Sandesh. I'm coding in TypeScript at the moment. So yes, we're coding in TypeScript, and we are probably going to have to use Google Gemini because Opus is currently in a lot of demand at the moment. So that will fix the billing side of things, and then we should also probably read through, or at least try and run this code that it made yesterday. And just to show you guys like what I've currently built, like just so you get a flavor for like what the front end looks like, you can have a look here. So I'll just currently log in. I'll just load it. I'm using the Supabase local stack, so quite nice for developing, to be honest. So we're just going to go and, so for example, if we log in as a team member, we just get that email and log in. This is what it looks like at the moment. You've got like a strategy report section, and you can see like previously scraped jobs. And then you've got like tables of all of the data here. One thing we might want to do is center these icons actually. Yeah, 1 cent is equal to, cool, that's just conversion. Nice. So these are what I'm talking about. These, we just need to make sure that we're converting yeah. What about for regular subscription payments? Invoice payment, handle invoice payment succeeded. If the metadata is equal to this, how do we make sure that migrations, and we should say, how do we make sure that the invoice.metadata is on the invoice? Shouldn't we just add credits when they have paid? That's a smarter way to handle it. Production. Can you double check and make sure that we have the metadata? We're just going and double checking the code basically. I think that's really important. I'm good, Patricia. Hope you're doing well. We are currently deep in some Stripe logic, and because it didn't generate any, I haven't generated any of this code. I'm like, I've got to go and read this code basically. So that's currently what we're doing. Yeah, everything's pretty good. Just I'm just making sure that, yeah. Yeah. Auto recharge steps. Yeah, I don't want to deal with the reliability of that. Okay, so it's adding comments there. Reserved comments. So added the comments. Can we just do it whenever we get paid and convert those to credits? Keep it simple, I think. No need to. Yeah, everything's good. I'm just currently working on this Stripe debiting code. Yeah, I think so. More of a direct approach is what we want. Let's also center these icons. A visual hook. Yeah, this could be a regular subscription payment that also grants some credits. Yeah, I think we do want similar logic here. Could we, I think we should, can we simplify handle invoice payments exceeded so that it is just one method, whatever calls it gets converted into credits. Keep it simple. I don't think we need the complicated metadata extraction and all that kind of stuff. You know. Yeah, that's cool. So to determine the org ID, just basically get the customer so this is just now saying we find the org ID, and if we don't, and we get the customer object, I think we should also do this one. So that gets us the Stripe customer .id, and we go and look in the customer ID, and then if there is an org ID, we return, and then we get the amount paid, and if it's greater than 0, then we get the paid amount in cents, and we convert that from cents to decimillicents, and then we then just add credits. Nice and simple. Yeah, just one way of doing that. Yeah, it's kind of what we're looking for. Cool. Okie dokies. I'm happier now with that code because we're not relying on metadata. Okay, PG tap tests I think now. So what do we want PG tap tests for? Credit deduction. Credit release. Job estimation costs. So I think we'll work on that. And PG tap tests are just ways for you to write tests for your database triggers in Postgres, basically. I've just started streaming a bit more, actually, Patricia. Yeah, I've just started streaming a bit more. I think we will have these that we need to do. Let's also, for now, I just want to read through every line in Apify CRUD. And let's figure this out. So we have the get usage. Utility to safely get Apify usage in USD as a number. Get Apify service. Job metadata. Okay, so this is the Apify webhook routes. Okay, this is just some centralized error handling. I used to love WoW, I used to play WoW quite a lot. World of Warcraft was fun back in the day. So this is a run. It will get the API key, it gets a method and the input for that. And then if there's no team ID, it throws an error. And then we create a client, and then we, using the team, get the org ID. So what do we do here? We get the org ID, and then we are getting the team data. And if there's no team org ID or organization ID or team data, cool, I appreciate that, thank you. Okay, cool, so there's an error there. Then we're getting the job definition, the base cost and the per video cost. We get the AI report costs, we get the job definition. I'm from England, yeah, from the UK. And then quest.log. Job definition or none. We get the metadata, which is the job definition metadata. We get the base cost and the per video cost. Number of videos. Okay, so this bit's wrong. So this bit here should be base cost. So the number of videos is equal to, okay, so the number of videos that will be scraped is times results per page, and then put later the number of videos in the data set, the number of channels times results per page. So number of hashtags. Oh yeah, so we can just change this one because we've already got that. Cool, yeah, maybe you can ping me some links of stuff that I should get. Let's have a look here. Results per page. Wow, Candy, you just pulled an all-nighter. That's nuts. I love the commitment there. Were you working on anything nice? Actor input. Cool. Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, Candy, let me know what you were working on. I'd be really curious to see. So this will just be hashtags, number of hashtags. Oh, nice. That's cool. Have you checked out Candy? One thing you should have a look at is the Vercel AI SDK. It's really, really decent. And they provide it for like React and lots of different... I'm okay for now, Patricia. Thank you, though. Yeah, so this AI SDK is really decent. Would recommend having a look at it. Got good support. Oh, okay. Well, just let me know if you want to like connect on LinkedIn. Just send me a message. I'm happy to walk you through some stuff that you should look at. So I'll just ping you my LinkedIn. All right. So let's get back to it. What are we doing here now? So I just need to do actor input dot results per page. Why have we got number of hashtags? Let's get this one here. Effective results per page. Yes, this logic here needs to move up really, doesn't it? Let's move this up here. Number of videos per hashtag. Number of hashtags times so it'll be number of hashtags there you go, and then we've got the base cost per video cost. So where are these base costs coming from? Because that's a base cost per video cost. Yeah, got Discord, yeah. Okay, let's have a look here. So we make a reservation on that. Yeah, results can't be great. It cannot be. Probably should put that one higher, to be honest, before we even calculate anything. Okay, so that then sets up a job. We insert the job. If there's no job record, we release the credits. Yeah, Discord username I can drop, no problems. Just hold on, what line are we at? 385. Let me just see how much I've got to go. I've got to do 1.4k lines. I'll drop my. It's probably easier if I just give you something other than Discord right now, but James A. Phoenix is the one. This one here. There you go. Okay, so what are we doing here? We are inserting a scraping run here. Definitely getting EU blocks there. We get the Apify service. We then call the actor. If the scraping run ID if there's an error, yeah, we'll do it in a bit. Just focused on streaming at the moment. So that just literally calls the app by actor. Then we've got a webhook. Which creates a client, scraping job, and then we get the scraping run from that. We then get the data. We after getting the data, what are we doing? We are getting that job for the scraping run. We are then actor run created. Right, so then we look at the different ones. So if it's an actor run created, we are getting the data here and we're checking if there's an existing run, and if there isn't, we basically just send a reply. Else we get the actor. If there's an existing run, failed to fetch, we're doing existing job. We then get the metadata and update it. We say it's running. Okay, so when it succeeds, this is the bit that's quite important. We get the payload. If there isn't a run, well, we're screwed. And then we are getting the run ID for that specific run. And we get the data set. We list out all those items. We put them into a TikTok transformation service that gets our transform data out. We make an RPC call. We then, if it failed, we set failed. But if it succeeds, then we find out how much content needs analyzing. And after that, then we make a bunch of cloud tasks. And after that, then we will then, let's have a look at this. So then we get the parent job. We get the parent job data. Just see here this bit, yeah. And then we create a bunch of jobs that need to be created. And we set the parent job ID equal to be the one that triggered all of these child jobs. And we set the metadata of each of these. So the ID, the downloadable URL, and the scraping ID. If the child ID, I think this bit to do, we need to check, is there always a downloadable URL? Then we insert the child data. If there's no jobs, then we just, oh, so if the jobs are, if there are jobs, and we check that there are bits of data, and if there aren't, we update that specific job. We then set a task payload equal to this. We create a buffer from the task payload and encode it as base 64. We create the task. We push it to the task queue and we update that job if it fails. We update the existing parent. Job result. Child job count. Child jobs created 2. Task queue count. So then so this bit here, video scrape count. So we don't want to do this here anymore. Yeah, I'll accept in a bit, Patricia. I'm currently just busy with this stuff. I hope you can understand. So what are we doing here? Yep, no worries. I don't think we want to update the scraping run to be completed. Don't think we want to update the parent job if it is completed. Don't think we need any of this code, to be honest. You might want the metadata section. Key value store, request store. I guess this bit of code's fine. Update. Do we update the job as well? Yep. And cool. Let's have a look at the video analysis now. Oh, we might actually want to keep some of that success code because we're going to rely on the children jobs anyway to know whether a parent job has been completed. So that's fine to leave that in actually, now that I think about it. So get a handler, verify the key, that's cool. Create client, update jobs to processing. Cool. After that, we're then going to do the video analysis, analyze the video, insert into the content, video analysis. I don't think the single jobs should be responsible for finding out. I think that simplifies it a lot. If we just have this one, you know, basically, yeah. Let's use Opus for this, I think. Ideally, the slash process should just process one task. The slash clean up timed out, yeah. Set the parent job stage to partial completion and have a stale timeout for failed jobs. Yeah. This is why we read the code, guys. So what's this one doing? So this one's saying that's given a job ID. Okay. Cool, so all this does is it gets the job, runs the video service, and then inserts the content insights. And we update the job to completed. And then we've got one down here which will, what's this doing? So parent job is null, because that means that there's children jobs where the job is processing or pending. Find those jobs. If the parent job's .length, no parent jobs to check. And then we load an Appify client, we loop through parent jobs. Okay, so that's parent jobs. For each parent job, get the child job status. Okay. Okay. And deletes everything. Updates the parent job. Alright, cool. I think that's it. Cool. I think we don't want to update the parent job here. Scrape content count we could update, but not the status. Okay. That looks a little bit better. I think we should test it locally to start with. Because we're using cloud tasks, we're going to need to test it in staging or production, really. Okay, let's give that a crack then. I'm going to put PG tap test we need to make. Sub issue. audio hook prod.quality. Center the green ticks and red crosses. Let's also have like to comment ratios instead, I think. Let's have a look at this. That's better. Okay. Capitalize consideration and awareness. Oh yeah, we also want to only use likes to comments, etc. Don't use views because we can't always get views across every platform. No. We want to do this. Hold on. Where is it? Convert these metrics. Use the bookmarks to comments, etc. Because some channels don't have views, i.e. Instagram, but TikTok does. Sitemaps fixed, yay! Just remove likes to comments. Oh, could we do some custom iconography for comment to like, share to like, bookmark, mark to like, then add these icons for the likes, like some heart icon, comments, comment icon, then it's more obvious. Cool, yeah, I think so. Could you also do something with views? Virality potential needs centering. So does estimated production cost. Tags need centering too. Nice, look at that. You've got some nice little icons here now. Can we remove the bad color behind this? The grey. See if we can use Opus. Cool. Okay, that's a lot better. Got some custom icons. Header components, basically. Tags render is now in the middle, it looks nicer. Go back. Go back here. Loading report data. Okay, there's a bug here. I wonder if this is the user store. Oh, I'm working on like a social media content strategy guide, and basically it scrapes TikTok. So you can create a content strategy. I can put in like some hashtags like data engineering, and then it will basically, you can put in like data engineering, data science, and then you can basically create like an AI premium report. And then what it will do is it will download all those videos, watch them using AI, and after it's done that, then you get a strategy report. And I would love to show you what the strategy report looks like, but I'm currently getting like a sort of a user store error. So yeah, that's basically it, and then you can generate ideas based off of that data. Let's move this to a new chat, I think. Set use action, always loading false, which is problematic when you're still fetching additional data. When you have an initial serve from the provider, but the auth-state listener might still be initializing, causing components to think data is loaded when it's not. Is loading. Oh, so I think it's because each of these loads separately, and therefore we're running into race conditions, which is why we only see it sometimes. But basically, if we have it where all of these are combined, then we end up being able to solve that problem quite elegantly. So let's see. Now create custom hook. The components used to properly check loading. Shouldn't this just work though? Why do I need to use a custom hook? I don't want to have to use a custom hook everywhere, right? Let's just see. Yes, I am self-employed, yes. Has initialized. Yeah, I don't really want to do that stuff. I do a little bit, Aloe. I do a bit. I just want the page to load after all of these states have come past, then we don't have to change any of our custom hooks. I think that's the simplest way to do that. Application layout. You can always change. You can always become your own boss. Just got to figure it out. Just do loading, etc., because they might be coming back to the website again. But make it snazzy, guys. Let's make it snazzy. Okay, so I think we've done quite a lot. We fixed the sitemap. Sitemap is now fixed. Sitemap fix. Let's check if the DNS is mapped yet. Yep, DNS is now mapped. Nice. Next on the list is we need to write some tests, and we also need to manually check the entire pipeline and make sure that at least the happy path works for the TikTok content scraping. And the other thing as well is we've got to fix a loading bug / state bug with the user store client-side provider, and layout / server-side rendering in Next.js. Let's see if that's fixed it anyway. Got like a Tailwind CSS anime issue. Can't resolve. Has to go in the tailwind config.js file. That's not what I want. This is hilarious. The LLM's like, oh yeah, you can just get rid of that. Yeah, I think so. Should be in there though. If we have a look here, Tailwind. Yeah, we just don't have that here. PPM install. We want to install Tailwind as a dev dependency. -- dev filter web. How do I do dev dependencies? PNPM. -d. Yeah, thanks for that, Aloe. Yeah, it's just an install, isn't it? Cool. Cool, so still getting this error, this loading error here. I think we should fix that first. That's probably the next thing I want to fix. This loading state bug. Because that affects everything basically. All of the hand stack hooks. This one's loading now. Okay, so I have a loading, but then we still get loading states for the tan stack. What is happening? Oh, could it be that the tan stack store is different? Is in my packet in my Next.js repo, but the tan stack hooks are in my packages. I think that might be the issue. Yeah, so the issue I'm running into is I have these tan stack hooks in a mono repo in a certain package, and we've got a query client and I think because of what we're doing with so I don't think the query client is the problem, because we're using what we're using here. We're using peer dependencies. We are using peer dependencies, so that shouldn't be an issue. Ensure hooks only run when query client is enabled. Yeah. Yeah, it's to do with the store. The store and the query client provider, I guess. Should we put the store before the query client provider? Maybe that's the right approach. I think that could be it. View scraping report. I'm officially stuck. This is great, guys. Okay, so let's see. So we've got a user store. We have a provider. User store provider. Oh. Yeah, it's an interesting one. So we've got a couple of things. We've got a user store provider, a user store, which is just a store, and we have client-side providers, and got a layout here which gets the initial user from the server. That then gets passed into client-side providers. And then we use that in TAN-stack hooks. So this is basically just saying, wait for the user store to be ready. So something, I'm going to save it here because we might butcher this a bit. Might be one I have to crack after lunch. So what we got here, so something, and we also got our packages. I have packages with TAN-stack hooks, and we'll give it, these are using peer dependencies. Currently, when I use these, for example, content reports table. but stuck on loading. This is stuck on his loading state within this TANSTACK hook. We also have the exact same problem in workspaces, I'm pretty sure. I believe this to be a race condition. Is there a way to massively simplify the user store, etc.? Keep it, but and I still need credits to be refreshed, and also their team ID, etc. I just want to simplify it. Basically, these TANSTACK hooks are stuck on an is loading state. If we look at TANSTACK, actually, maybe we could have a look at that. So TANSTACK actually looks like it is giving us the data. So let's remove the is ready. Yes, it's really interesting. Look, the data is coming through here. It's really interesting. Can try. My suggestion is this is all a load of baloney, because I can see that data quite clearly here. Let's try it. So if I go to okay, so let me go back here. So let's restore the checkpoint. Let's tell it. I can see that when I visit Teams list, Teams list is fine, and workspaces So if we get rid of all these, let's have a look. Yeah, I might jump off stream because this is going to get a bit boring for people to watch me try and fix a loading state. So I'm going to jump on back after lunch, I think. I'll let you guys know what I find, but I think it's to do with TanStack Query and the TanStack store that I've got set up. So I'm going to go fix that because I'm not going to be able to move forward without that. But the good news is, once that's fixed, then yeah, you can see here it's not like loading this name and that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'll go fix that. And then we've changed the reports. We've also fixed the back end as well. So let me fix this state bug. Then we need to manually check the pipeline. So we'll need to connect to TCP Cloud Tasks in prod. What else do we need to do? Run it with some bad payloads, good payloads, etc. Once we know that pipeline still works, then we can focus on a bit more testing. And we can also write some Stripe tests. And we also need to double check that the cron job works. So this cron job becomes part of this task really, because for creating completed parent scraping runs. So run it with a good payload now. And that is, if we can get that done today, then we've got the whole feature end to end where someone puts in their business, generates the hashtags, and then you then decide how many videos they want to analyze. We should also make it where, yes, they can't not do that, and then they create a report, and then that report lands here and it redirects them there, and then they can see that. So I think let's do that and see if I can get that done in the next day or so. And then we can work on the idea generation and the content generation directly from that. I think that is probably going to be it. So let me just get rid of these, going to tidy up some stuff. Yeah, so we're going to add on middleware, some Fastify and Stripe. Tweak the home page. We need to add credits to be visible, and then deploy it. Oh, no. Done this already. I think we've done that. Yeah, run some tests. Cool, getting close. Right guys, I'm gonna go and fix this weird state TanStack store /state bug. So enjoy, and yeah, thanks for tuning in.